We've had this set up on my Jeep for a couple weeks now. The 40's, the 3.5-inch lift on the 392, and everyone's been asking, how does it drive? How does it perform? Today on Dirt Road CRED, we're doing a driving review of my 2024 Rubicon 392 with 40's. All right guys, so we're in the Jeep. Let's take it for a little spin. I do have my seatbelt on. Ryan, you can confirm. It's just behind my back here so that way the mic doesn't get interfered. We're gonna take the Jeep for a little cruise. And we like to do this after we drive them. I mean, after we build them all, Ryan. We did this with yours and honestly, we just enjoyed it. The coolest thing with this Jeep too, we got the taser installed here already and we've got everything kind of dialed in for the 40's. Now with this, I've been running it in rear wheel drive using the taser just to alleviate some stress on the transfer case as well as on the front axle. So we've got it in rear wheel drive only and it does shift and go through everything just fine. Riding around in the city, this is where it's going to be a little bit of gut check. Let's go over fuel economy because I'm averaging about 14 miles a gallon. I mean, not the best, but also like it's premium gas too, so it's not really the cheapest either. But yeah, we're averaging about 14 miles a gallon in the city. And on the highway, we just got back. Yesterday, we were down at the Wheel Pros open house, and I was getting actually surprisingly like 17 on the highway. Oh, yeah. Now I was cruising about 70 miles an hour, nice and easy. I'm not like hammering on it, but that's almost like as good as my 2-liter turbo was doing. And then when I don't want to get good mileage, I have 470 horsepower engine. So it's kind of a big trade-off there. Like I'm not really sacrificing that bad. And the other thing, I can still see 8th gear, which is fun. Like I can still see 8th with the 456s. That's one thing with this. A lot of guys have been asking about a re-gear. Matt, are you going to do a re-gear? Are you going to go to 513s? Whatever. I'm going to run the 456s in these axles for a while until something A, either goes bad, or B, we decide to do an axle swap. Because I don't know how much I want to invest in these axles. You know what I mean, Ryan? Like, you have 456s. We just did extreme recons on yours. That's a great setup for you. This seems to work right now, even with the 40's. But I think if I wanted to invest money, like if I'm going to spend money on a re-gear, I'm going to put that towards like a new set of CRED axles, you know, versus putting money into these stock axles. But either way, you know, driving this thing, it's very comfortable around town. I did have to adjust the shocks a little bit just because it was a little stiff right off the gate with the shocks and the 40's. So adjusting the tire pressure, getting the shocks dialed in. But this thing will still scoot. I mean, it's still boogies, no problem. Yeah. And that's one of the funnest things with this is it does have 392 cubic inches of power. So, I mean, I can still get on it. And I mean, like, it hauls. And I mean, it's enough hauling to roll around Ryan's 8-gallon jug of water in the back. But yeah, overall driving though, it's comfortable. I just took it down the highway. It's smooth. It does perform well for daily driving. And Ryan, let's listen, because I'm going about 45 miles an hour. With the exhaust off, let's listen how quiet. I mean...
Yeah, like my biggest thing was I thought that the tires might be adding a lot of road noise.
Yeah. And while that's not a big deal off-road, like that's what you buy these tires for, when you're driving this thing daily driving, it's like, oh my goodness, you know what I mean? And now I don't care, you know I don't care. I've run 40's with top and doors off driving up to AOAA and stuff. It's not that bad. The 40's are quiet. We actually just talked to Mickey Thompson the other day, so hopefully they'll be jumping on as a channel sponsor too, because we enjoy their tires.
We just run theirs.
You've got yours, the Mickey Thompson Baja Boss ATs. These are the MTs. And then actually Joe and Ben, they said they just got a set of the new 42s that they came out with. So I could have went to 42s on this and go even bigger and piss even more people off with it. They said they already sold like 15 of them. I don't know what they're putting them on, but 42s are a big tire. But driving this thing, we've got the Clayton kit dialed in as well. With the Curry Correctling steering up front, it drives smooth. Like, it's a smooth drive. And then the Falcon through shaft stabilizer, the Nexus up front, I don't feel like the Jeep is all over the place, and that's one thing when you go to a tire size this big, it kind of drives with the curvature of the road because you have a crest in the road. All roads angle towards or slope towards the edge, so that way the water runs off. When you get one of these, you slap 40's on and don't do anything else, it want to hugs them and follows the road the whole time, so it becomes kind of a chore to drive it. But this thing does not feel that way, and I'm not just saying that. When you get a proper alignment and get it dialed in like this, it does feel smooth. Honestly, it feels a little bit smoother than my last Jeep. I think it's a little smoother.
Really?
And maybe it's because I got this is a really good alignment. Did we even align the last Jeep? Did we align the last Jeep after we did the Clayton? I don't think we did a full alignment on it. I think we just dialed everything in by hand and by sight. It feels comfortable, it feels planted. I don't have any kind of worry to let my wife get in here and drive and have my son in the back. It does not feel uncontrollable. I think that's a lot of the concern everyone has with 40s, is that it becomes like this off-road monster and you can't drive it. Like, it's a big Jeep, and I gotta say, I've probably gotten a lot more comments/compliments about that in this Jeep, having it for 2 months, about like, that's a big Jeep. Even the toll worker yesterday was like, I run people off the road with that thing. That's a big Jeep.
Because you initially wanted to do 37s.
I did. I wanted to go 37s. And also, it's kind of something like, what else does it need to run 40s? We want to be almost like the guinea pigs. Like, will it work or will it not? Like, would you guys rather watch it on here to see if it works? Or like do it on your own and then you destroy your rear axle?
You don't like it.
Yeah, right.
You realize that you're just a mall crawler.
Yeah, like me, you know, so... But yeah, no, I'm happy with the 40s here. I think the biggest thing is, like, once we take it off-road the first time, we're going to have to see what we need to help out, because this is now turning a lot of mass up front. I can already tell you I'm probably going to need a hydro assist to steer, because when you air these down, that is so much for this stock box to help turn those.
Yeah.
And that's when you start comparing 37s and 40s, that's why people want to go to the 37 so bad.
Yeah.
Because you start running into more and more and more problems. And if you don't have kind of a shop to help you out, or the funds to really get these parts, which we're not loaded by any means. Like, I mean, we do these piece by piece to kind of build them. It's just more problems. Like, not problems, but just more that goes into running a tire this size.
So for someone that might not have the extreme recon package, is it realistic to really put 40s on your Jeep?
Yeah, you're gonna have to rip the extreme recon off anyways. I mean,
right.
You're gonna need.
So for the person that doesn't have like the average, like
just a stock Jeep, it gets a little interesting though. You're kind of right. I mean, if you say you're going like a sport Jeep like yours,
yeah,
you're gonna put a lot in to be able to run 40s, because you have new axles. But if you have a sport,
it would work.
If you have a sport with stock axles, like, those are a little weaker than this. They don't have the cast knuckles. They don't have the rear full float like this does. You're going to be putting a lot in to get to that point. Now, there is a caveat to that. So if you buy a sport, you're buying it for cheaper. You don't really mind getting rid of those parts. You know what I mean? You're buying the Jeep for mid-30s. If you dump 20 grand into it and have a Jeep up on 40s, it's pretty good, you know? But now you've got it built up for the way you want. The thing with 40s, I think a lot of people are just nervous about, and what I personally know about them, is it kind of just keeps compounding with what you need. You know, just me getting these on here. I'm trimming rock rails, I'm trimming things, I'm removing pieces.
And you did notice some movement back there on your, just inside the flares, you said?
Yeah, so I had to trim the inner plastic. So, I mean, it's kind of right away, it just keeps adding to it, right? So you're not just slapping 40s and a lift kit on, it's like, you've got to add on more to get it to drive right, get it to flex right. And I think that's kind of fun for us. Like,
I'm excited to test that out though when we do go out.
Yeah, this will be. I mean, it's big. I mean, it'll definitely, when we air down, it'll work out. But I was just telling my dad in the car ride the other day, I almost enjoy building the Jeeps as much as I do like using them. You know me, I love like a new project. Like, I'm very like, my attention span lasts not that long, so I'm like, what's the new project? How can we build it? And then what's the next
2025 Tuscadero.
Yeah, final edition Tuscadero. Trade this one in, dump all this money into it, and then take a loss right away. But no, we're gonna hop on just a highway here, hit this little section where you can go like 60 miles an hour, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. There's not much correcting with the steering wheel here. I do like a good stabilizer, just for those minor road imperfections, and in PA it's like major road imperfections. We've got potholes everywhere. And then you can adjust it too. So when we do take this off-road, we can change it from the firm mode to the soft mode to give our steering box a little bit easier of a time turning the wheels. But I think we got some future plans for it. Skid plates, I want to do the hydro assist up front. I know we're going to need it already. And then today we're actually going to take it and do a really cool mod and get this thing all ready for show season. So we got some cool local people. We like to do that, support local business. We're about to open this up a little bit on the highway, but before we do, we wanted to thank today's video sponsor, Onyx Off-Road. Now, they've been a channel sponsor for quite some time now, and we're super happy to work with them. As we enter into show season and wheeling season, we're excited to be able to use Onyx Off-Road on our brand new Uconnect 5 and find trails and places that we're not familiar with. We'll be down in Florida in the next next week or so, and we're going to use Onyx Off-Road while we're down there to help us find local trails that we can conquer. I really love their new feature that is kind of rolling out throughout the country, where you can see the level of trail difficulty as well as upload and see other people's photos and videos. It helps me get a good idea of, while I'm on vacation, let me hit a quick trail and then go back and join the family. And if you guys want to save a decent chunk of money by adding their subscription, be sure to use the code DRC20 where you can get 20% off. Now, without further ado, let's hit it back here, and why don't we open up the throttle a little bit?
Let's open it up.
Sick. Yeah, that opens up really well, and I was just gonna have a stop here for a second because I just saw a CJ7 Golden Eagle in brown right there at that shop, and that's what started my entire Jeep craze.
Let's go see it.
My dad had a brown CJ7 Golden Eagle just like that, and that's what I kind of started. Let's just swing by and take a peek at it and see if we can waste some more money. Is it for sale?
That's sick.
Well, like I said, we just pulled over. We had to pull over quick, and we just talked to the owner here, Appalachian Auto LLC. They're right close to us. 77 CJ7 Golden Eagle in the brown. This is exactly what my dad had while we were growing up. This one's for sale too, so Ryan, we might have to make poor financial decisions and buy this as well. This is a two-family or a two-owner vehicle, but it's the same family. So the original owner had it. When he passed away, the estate gave it to his son, and then his son drove it for a while and then kind of just parked it. But how cool is this, Ryan, to see in person like this? Original wheels, the worn lockout hubs, beautiful CJ7. I mean, it's got some dents, it's got some dings, it's got its patina, but this thing is going on 50 years old. In 3 years, it'll be 50 years old. The inside, you can tell, was Rhino lined at some point. It's got the cage tie-ins on the outside, and it looks like there was some sort of cage or exoskeleton that was there for it. I don't think they're asking even crazy money for it, but it's all original. You can actually see here, it's got a JVC. They upgraded the deck, Ryan. That's a cassette player in there. So you got your cassette player there. The nostalgia of a Jeep like this is kind of, I don't know, it's almost like crazy to see my Jeep next to this one, and just the size difference I think is kind of crazy as well. The neat thing about this too, with these upgraded ones, they actually came, so this was a little bit different back in the day. The CJ7, the Golden Eagle package, was very loaded up. So you had a lot of different options on this. I can see the headlight, the high beams on off on the floor. This just brings me back. This is so cool here. You imagine loading up this with your buddies and a cooler in the back and just going out for the day. This is like your beach Jeep right here, and there's nothing you're gonna ruin. All right, let's hop back in the Jeep. Time to finish this one out. On today's View Rig the video, we are checking out Monica's 2006 Jeep Wrangler TJ, featured in a beautiful orange clear coat. I cannot exactly recall, but I think that this was a factory color in 04 through 06, and honestly, this is a beautiful example of one. I can see just from the front and rear, it does have a little bit of a lift. It is kept very clean with custom front and rear bumpers, and what looks to be a set of 33-inch tires. The interior is also in very, very good condition. Still got those crank windows and an automatic. I'd imagine this has the 4.0 as well. Looks like she is a fellow Pennsylvanian too, so huge shout out. We got some local people repping on our channel. It'd be awesome for us to roll around in one of these. And honestly, these are just, they're so old school, even though they're not crazy old. They just have such a cool character to them. So Monica, thank you so much for submitting your rig. And if you guys want to have a chance at your rig being featured, be sure to hit us up through Instagram or send us an email. I'm gonna skip the highway for that section. I think this goes the right way. If not, oh well. We'll skip the little bit of the highway because they're doing some bridge construction, but overall, kind of wanted to close this one out too, you know. This has been fun driving this Jeep so far. I've really had a good time being able to kind of explore what the 392 can do with a set of 40s. We just talked to that guy there. It's just, you have so much more power with this vehicle. I mean, you've really got a lot more power underneath the hood. And honestly, you need more power underneath the hood to push around a set of 40s. Not saying it can't be done with the V6 or the 2.0 liter turbo, but this just feels more complete with this setup. It's nice, it drives comfortably, it's got enough power, and I don't feel like I'm kind of dogging it everywhere, which is, that was a big concern with going up anything bigger than a 37 on my 2.0 liter turbo. Like I said, we're still finishing off this build. We've got a lot more planned just to get it ready, take it out. We do wheel with them, guys. Like, I know that's not what we post up all the time, but we just got out of like a Pennsylvania winter that lasts like 6 months long.
It's still going.
And it's still here. I mean, it was like 40 some on Saturday, and now it's getting back up to the 70s, but still pretty cold. But either way, this one is fun. My name is Matt, Ryan's behind the camera, and we want you to get out there and earn yours.